Hello, I'm Yara. For the last 10 years, I have tried to succeed as a full-time painter, and I had failed. After 10 years of trying, I have not succeeded to earn a full-time living painting. There is so many success stories on the internet sometimes that if we fail, we can feel like total failures, because on the internet sometimes it feels like everybody is succeeding at all of the things. And yeah, I just want to be that person that tells you that sometimes we also fail, and I failed. So if you failed or will fail at some point at something, you're not alone. I think it's a natural thing for us to fail at things and career paths. So there you go. There was a period a few months back that I have felt very bad about myself, and I have felt like I have wasted my life, my youth for something, and I have nothing to show for it. I mean, I had the paintings, right? But I still felt like I have wasted my best years doing something in hopes of succeeding, but never did. So I felt, really bad and we really defeated. But today I don't feel like this anymore. What changed is that I had this sort of an epiphany. Last year, in 2025, I have started to make pottery, and I had a big order of pottery for Christmas gifts. So I had to put my website together really quickly in like a span of a few days, so I could put into my pottery those little cards, that had my website and my name on it, because not doing that would feel kind of maybe stupid. So I have thrown together my website. In those days that I was putting my website together, I decided I will do years, like all the years I was painting and portfolios of those years, and write a little bit about this period. So I have gathered all of my digitalized paintings from the past. Let's look at them together today and see what I have found in my old folders and old discs and everywhere. My new website that I have built, I have put the beginnings, like first 5 years, I have put in one page, on one page. So let's start at the beginning. So it says, it all began in high school when I got the idea that I wanted to become a painter. At first, I bought myself some watercolors and oil paints, but I soon realized that my preferred medium was acrylics. In 2015, I bought my first acrylic paints and a few canvases and started learning a new skill. I went through many phases of subjects and styles as I tried to learn the craft and slowly develop my own artistic voice. So those are my first paintings. This one was actually made with gouache, not acrylics yet. So at first I started with portraits, and this was it. There is so many paintings I have made. And those are not all of the paintings. I have not put all of my paintings on my website. There is still, I don't know how many, but there are still paintings that I haven't photographed or scanned or I didn't found when I was making the website. So I remember I loved this one, Snow White. I remember this one here. I have already knew a little bit of how to make a realistic portrait, So this painting is actually, I gifted this painting actually to a friend of mine. And the famous Janis Joplin, one of my favorite singers. So those are the paintings from the first 6 years of my painting journey. I think a memory can sometimes distort the past. So I didn't actually imagine that I painted so much and that I improved so much, you know? So 2021, I found myself completely immersed in the genre of surrealism. I loved how something could look real while also being too perfect for this world. At this stage of my painting journey, I found the most joy in painting female portraits. I had many influences that inspired me to paint women, such as Eva Gamayun, Soy Milk, Charmaine Olivia, Happy the Artist, and others. I thought this would be my subject forever, and during that time, I really developed the skill of painting faces and skin tones. So, this was my period of starting to paint a little bit more realistically, you know. Again, those are not all of them, but they also took a long time to complete here because they are quite realistic. So, I guess that's why there is less of them. This was the period when fantasy imagery became my great love. I had only just begun discovering the fantasy genre, as I hadn't even watched Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings until then. Once I finally did, I completely fell in love with fantasy characters and environments. So here I started to love a little bit more, still surrealism, but a little fantasy, medieval, cutesy stuff, and a hippie in between. This one, the, what's it called? The Explorer, or I actually forgot how this painting is called. I love this painting. And this, my all-time bestseller, Cottage Eden, was also painted that year. I have sold so many prints of this painting. And we go to 2023. My surrealism and exaggerated fantasy became more subtle as I entered my late 20s. I started noticing more beauty in real natural environments and in ordinary life as it is, although I could not let go of the surreal part completely. I began taking more inspiration from the simplicity of everyday human experience. My need for drama slowly faded, and I found myself drawn more and more to the quiet, ordinary moments that felt real and grounding. So, here, as I have read, I stopped craving drama so much in life, and my first cottages began to appear in my paintings, and quiet landscapes and some stuff that was not neither fantasy nor surrealistic, as this dandelion right here that my good friend bought. Actually, it has found its forever home, loving home. She loved it very much. And it's still some surrealism in there, but there is still some ordinary things. This painting is actually huge. And those duckies that I have gifted to my brother because he loves birds. And we watched those ducks together when I took the reference photo. So, and here is 2023, and we go to 2024. My love for portraits and painting human faces has slowly faded, and I began to enjoy landscape painting much more. I was especially drawn to landscapes with small cottages that evoke feelings of peace, home, and mindful moments where everything is okay. I love the idea of a quiet cottage tucked deep in nature. So here really began the style that you see in my works today. I actually love the depth of this one. This is the Peach Cottage. I have prints in my shop, my Etsy shop. This one, Right Before Dawn, it's called. It's in my living room. I love this painting. Everybody loves it. This one was inspired by a scene in Azores Islands. I don't know how that's called in English, but we went to a trip with my family to Azores, and it was beautiful. This one sold, the original. Last year I have started to paint these grassy paintings from a bird's eye view. I painted this one, and I just adore those paintings. Actually, they're not quite cottage landscapey, vibe as my other paintings, but I still love them. So this one is a huge one. It's called Smooth Blue. And yeah, the cottages. It was a year of cottages. And the year of 2025, here I have written a little bit more. This year, everything changed. I got a full-time non-art job and almost stopped painting completely. Between the lack of time and energy and painful feeling of defeat after not managing to become a full-time painter for the past 10 years, I started struggling to dedicate endless hours and sessions to the big, detailed paintings the way I once did. For a short period in between, I even sculpted little polymer clay cottages so I wouldn't stop making art completely. But despite everything going on, I could never leave art behind for long. Without it, my life felt purposeless, as if something crucial was missing. With my days being filled with non-art tasks, I knew I needed to invest in my art even more, but in a new, fresh way. I always wanted to learn ceramics, and so I began taking pottery classes and learned to throw on the wheel. The moment I tried it, it felt so good. It was both a healthy challenge and a meditative practice. I couldn't stop. I went to my pottery studio through the entire year, often more than once a week. By the end of the year, my dear pottery teacher invited me to share a studio with her and a few other amazing potters and artists. So in 2025, I've learned to confidently throw mugs, bowls, and even bigger pieces, and have rented a place where I can do it all. I still love painting, but because at some point I didn't have the energy or focus for traditional painting as much anymore, I found a new way to paint that felt quicker and more freeing: painting on pottery. I have experimented with different underglazes and glazes to hopefully find my new recipe for a beautifully painted ceramics. And here there is the first time some polymer clay cottages in between my art portfolio and pots. So those two were the only paintings I have managed to finish last year. My paintings take so much time, and I just couldn't handle it with my pottery practice and my full-time job. These are my 10 years of painting without managing to become a full-time painter. I have talked so much. There is a lesson that is really important that I have learned through the experience and through the years, and it is that if you love doing something, the time does never feel wasted. At many points in my painting career, I felt like I didn't want to paint, and I have kind of forced myself, or I have forced a consistent style upon myself, or I have been heavily influenced by other artists, and my art wasn't really coming from myself. And all those things made me not like the process as much. And when that is happening, the time feels really wasted if there are no external results, because if you don't like doing something and there is no external results, or you don't hit the goal you set for yourself, there is actually no point, because you didn't have a good time and then you haven't succeeded. And there is also more pressure, because if you don't have a good time, there is a pressure to succeed. At least for me, I'm talking about myself right now and how my brain works. If yours doesn't work like that, I'm sure we are all different. But I have learned that doing stuff that is not fun and feeling good for me in the moment does not make any sense at all. And maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I'm sticking to it, and I really, really believe in that. And as soon as I realized how much I have painted, how much art I've made through all those years, and how much I found myself and what I like and what my soul is wanting to do with my painting, I knew it wasn't wasted. those years were not wasted, because what do wasted years even mean? The more I thought about what wasted years means, the more I realized that wasted years mean putting my energy into stuff I don't enjoy and not succeeding in that on top of it. But hey, I realized I have went for my dreams and I have really put my all into my dreams, and I have made art for 10 years consistently and made so many paintings and gained a skill with which I now can make any art I want. I don't think my skill is maxed out by any means, but anything I desire to paint, I can paint now, because there is so many bad paintings behind me. I had to make so many bad paintings in order for my skill and style to develop to where it is today. So I really would not switch places with anybody. I really like where I am now. And the future is full of possibilities still. Maybe someday I will be a full-time artist. Maybe I will never be, and I will move forward doing non-art related jobs for a living. But I don't think I will ever stop creating art. So that's comforting, and that's good enough for me, actually. I mean, isn't there most important that you try to make what you think your dreams are happen? Like, you give yourself a shot if you really want something. I think that's the most of it. And after 10 years, I have landed this sweet job that was not art related. Felt defeated for a while, but then remembered it's so good to have a steady income. That's amazing. It's actually pretty nice that my answer to what I do for a job now is really simple and steady. I like that. And I like doing art without any financial pressure now. So having a job now has some really nice, sweet benefits. I could never have learned pottery without having a non-art job, because pottery is so expensive. Like, learning pottery takes so many hours and so much money. I don't think I could have afforded that without having a job I have. And I don't know, I have a sweet job. I have a skill, an art skill that allows me to make art I love. I love my life right now. And when I look at all of those paintings that I have made, I feel so proud. And I feel like my teenage years and my early and mid-20s painting were well spent. There were so many painful lessons. There was so much unnecessary suffering, but I have learned from it greatly. And I don't think I would be the person I am today if I would not suffer everything I did and torture myself with. Everything art related that I have tortured myself with in the past. The point I am trying to make is go for your dreams. If you fail or succeed, it doesn't matter. It's really, really important to try. But even more important is to do things you love doing. I learned that is the most important, because that way I can't waste time. It's impossible. When I make art, I always feel good afterward. I mean, yeah, sometimes I have a mental breakdown because I don't like what I do, and it's all these emotional roller coasters that come with a creative process, of course. But the time making art for me does never feel wasted. I feel good. I feel like the time and the energy was well spent when I make art. And I think every person should find what that is for them, what is that art medium or other creative thing. And I think everybody should do that thing for them consistently. It's healthy, and it makes us spend our energy and time the way it's meant to be spent, doing the things we love. It makes it all worth it. I think everybody has one creative medium or outlet, even if you don't think you have it, although you probably have because you're watching this video and I'm kind of an art creativity channel, you know. But if you haven't found your medium yet, I know that you can find it with experimentation and trying different things out. And yeah, I just think we all should do it. We all should know what our medium is, what our art is at heart, and we should do it because it's amazing. And my youth was well spent. I know that now. And I will continue to make art and create forever until I can. I know that for certain. I hope you have your creative thing. I hope you like this video. I hope you like to listen to me ramble. If you don't, this video was probably torture. But yeah, I hope you liked my art through the years show through. This is the first video of this year, and I'm gonna try to make more videos and try to make more art as much as I can this year. If you like this video, I like to talk about creativity, I like to make art, I make my paintings and my pottery, and I like to be really honest about being a human and creating on this channel. So if you like this sort of thing, you should subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on my other videos. And also, if you like my art, you can follow me on Instagram, and you can also check out my Etsy shop where I sell my art. The links are down below in the description. You know the drill. I will show you the painting I have in progress right now on 1st of January 2025, because I really want to finish those paintings this year at least, because last year I have dedicated so much to my pottery journey that I have just let my paintings sit there unfinished for way too long. So those are my unfinished paintings right now. It's a huge painting and I really want to finish it soon because it's gorgeous. Is that pretentious that I say my own paintings are gorgeous? I don't know. And it's like on the last 90%, so I just have to push through the end. And this painting, I will finish this one. And also, I didn't even start to paint this painting yet, but it's a cute little cottage. And I will get on that. And there is so many pots I want to paint, and so many things I want to do from clay, and so many things I want to make, and so many videos I want to film, and so many reels I want to make. I'm excited to create. Bye. See you soon.